it's lying. Just not telling us, still lying. Real vulnerability has yet to make an appearance in Anna's health update videos. I'm just gonna put it that way. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Sam. If you are new here, welcome. I make weekly videos dissecting internet nonsense, so if you're into that type of thing, or you like today's video, I hope that you'll consider liking and subscribing. It really helps out the channel and make sure that you never miss another upload from me. If you are a returning viewer, welcome back, and to a new filming space. These last few weeks have been absolute insanity for me because what you guys didn't know behind the scenes is we were painting and moving and settling in, but I just didn't want anyone to know yet that we were about to have a nice new space to film in, but this week here we are. Also in the middle of all of that, moving and painting and settling in, your girl got the big C again, and being sick this time was much worse than when I dealt with this in the past. Like 10 out of 10 would not recommend, so please be careful out there in the world. But also that's why my voice sounds a little bit more nasally today than normal. I'm still recovering, but today is the first day in a really long week that I felt like a human being, and I'm actually genuinely really excited to be here with all of you to talk about this specific topic today. Because while I was down and out, had no strength or energy to do anything other than watch TV and YouTube, Anna from Glitter and Lasers put out a video titled My Biggest Health Update Yet. If I haven't made this clear on my other videos where we've talked about Anna in the past, I have been a follower of hers on YouTube for a very, very long time. Right before I started my own channel, I've talked about my history falling into the sort of fat acceptance rhetoric, following some of these creators, and now there are a few of them that I still follow to this day, but mostly to really talk about their logic and their sort of rhetoric and where they're at. So when I saw Anna's video pop up, I clicked on it immediately, and I naively, because I'm a hopeless optimist, was like, yes, biggest health update yet. She is going to finally tell us that she is taking a weight loss drug. And as I click on the video, I notice in the description that she says, thank you to Novo Nordisk for sponsoring this video. There it is. It's confirmed for me. She's finally going to tell us. So I did a mental drum roll. I clicked on this video. And then I realized we were going to have to talk about this one together on the channel yet again. Let's get into it. First, Anna tells us that she is filming this clip from a remote village in Finland.
I'm coming at you live from Finland. I'm literally in a remote village in kind of the middle of nowhere, but it is absolutely beautiful.
A trip that she took months ago. So she's been holding on to this clip, like this video, for a while. And that seemed really odd to me at first. Like, why would you hold on to that? Like, maybe she was waiting for those sponsorship dollars from Novo Nordisk to come in. Because, I mean, I guess influencers do that, right? They got to get the bankroll before they post the video. But overall, what that means is Anna held this supposedly heartfelt, really important update that she owed to us for 10 plus weeks until she had a sponsor for the video. When I realized this, it kind of snapped me out of that like naive viewer mode, right? And into the Sam that you see on this channel mode, where I was like, well, shoot. Anna's not doing this to be vulnerable and to give us updates and to connect with her audience. She's doing this because she's making money off of it. And it honestly made me wonder, like, does anyone else get fooled by this? I don't know if it's just me because I am a hopeless optimist, but like, these influencers are always letting me down. I'm always looking forward to them being vulnerable, sharing something really useful and helpful that came from their own experience. And every single time they let me down. Every single time. Does that happen to anyone else, or is it just me? You guys let me know in the comments if this happens to you, because like I feel like I can't be alone. Every single time it's a letdown. Let's continue. She tells us at the time of filming this video, all of her health issues are actively being managed by either her taking new medications or lifestyle changes that she has put into place. And she carries on to tell us she doesn't want to take her new physicalities, her new capabilities for granted.
I'm just feeling incredibly grateful because I think that as someone who couldn't do as much as I've been able to do these last couple days, which is like lots of uphill hiking and just lots of physicality in general, I just don't want to take for granted all the progress I've had because I feel myself coming back, and it's exciting. Like every day I feel like a little bit more me.
Now, she does, for the first time ever on her YouTube, talk to us about Novo Nordisk's It's Bigger Than Me initiative. And that's the initiative, again, if you dig back in your brain, in those little file folders, she did a podcast with them. It was that real creepy one, almost a year ago. And she's never talked about it on her channel until this point in time right now. So that was a first that she decided to mention them and sort of talk about how that point in time is where she was really starting to kick off her own health journey. She talks us through what It's Bigger Than Me stands for as an initiative, and that's the part of the video that comes off a lot more like a sponsor read to me. So it was not as interesting or fulfilling to watch, right? Because it's literally just laying down the sponsor content. But after that, she said something that caught my attention.
Felt villainized for being overweight, but I've also felt villainized for saying I don't always feel great or that I might want to change my weight.
Here, once again, what we have and what I feel like is important to capture is that we have this person, right, who was part of fat acceptance and really caught in that rhetoric, talking about how difficult it was to leave that movement, how she felt villainized for wanting to change her weight and to do better for herself because she was not feeling good at the weight that she was at, right? So she's talking about this movement she was a part of, sort of villainizing her and treating her terribly when she wanted to start to do better for herself, which is a trend that we keep seeing over and over again with the fat acceptance movement. And I've always said that this is important to me, right? To capture these moments, to remember that there are people, I deemed us the in-betweeners, right? You fall into this place where it kind of feels like everyone is coming at you all at once. Like you're not losing weight fast enough for the fitness community online to be happy with you. But also any weight loss is deemed bad or negative by the fat acceptance movement. And suddenly it feels like you're being targeted from all angles, right? You can't do right by anyone. So you have to just do right by yourself. And so I wanted to just capture that moment because I know sometimes we can get caught up in the minutia, but it's really important. I think this is the first time we've actually heard Anna say that outside of when she was talking about specific creators who have targeted her in the past, such as Fat Girl Flo. She continues on to tell us that finding the right doctor is what changed her life and set her on this journey.
Finding that doctor that listened to me, heard me, and took in consideration my needs and my goals was the difference in basically changing my life. Like I literally owe a lot to that doctor. And I sometimes think if I like hadn't seen him, I mean, when I saw him and I got some of my medical tests back, like I was pretty bad off, to be honest. And I was like, it was very overwhelmed. And if he hadn't been so kind and so patient, I don't know if I would have addressed everything I addressed because it was a lot to take on an appointment. And even though it was a lot, and even though it was really scary, it was so worth it.
I'm curious to see if any of you noticed, but in that clip that I just shared, this outside of this whole sponsorship thing, was a point in the video that really bothered me, because this whole story about Anna finding this doctor and talking about how fantastic they are, it's so almost purposefully vague in a way that's so extremely frustrating. Anna has this way of making everything really surface level, and I think that comes from wanting to keep her channel like bright and shiny and happy, right? And that sort of like false positivity, that these stories end up getting so watered down that she makes it not useful for anyone who's watching. She doesn't tell us what happened, how she found this doctor, how she vetted a doctor, how she started talking to them about getting these tests, how it felt. She tells us she was overwhelmed, but like, how in that period of being overwhelmed did she ask questions to get answers, to get medications? How did she start talking to them about weight loss drugs? Like, she could include so many things that would make her videos so useful to her millions of followers, and yet she doesn't. It really bothers me that Anna is always so surface level with these videos, never really getting into that sort of nitty-gritty, never really being a help to the people that are watching her. And it really bothered me when I first watched this video. It's bothering me even more on the rewatch, so I feel like I just needed to point that out before we moved on. And I'm also gonna say, if you watch to the end of this video, I'm going to include some clips of my initial reaction. I did sort of like an audio recording of notes for myself, and it was definitely like an Alan Roberts moment that I had, so you're definitely going to want to watch to the end to hear some of that, because it's hilarious. I listened to it as I was taking notes for this video, and I was like, wow, you were really feeling some type of way. So that will come at the end, because that was my initial reaction, okay? Stay tuned. We're going to keep going, but it's there, I promise. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sort of summarize the rest of the Novo Nordisk chatter, because it's really not that interesting to listen to, because she really just talks about how excited she is that they're doing this new initiative called the Obesity Inclusive Care Initiative. And she has some text that pops up like on the bottom of her screen down here. So I followed that link to their website to see what this thing was, because she really just relates it to her own experience finding a doctor, but doesn't really tell us what it is, right? So I wanted to know, what are they putting together? What kind of resource can we expect to get from this multi-million-dollar corporation, right? What are they putting together to help obese people find these doctors who are supposedly inclusive? Well, if you go to their website, you'll find that it's a sticker. You heard me right. A sticker that they can put on the window of their practice or download and put on their website to let people know that they're going to practice with obesity inclusive care. Not a directory of easily searchable doctors that could be utilized by anyone, either a nationwide search in the United States, a provincial search if you're in Canada, or I know they're a European company, so however that would work in Europe. Not that, that's not what they're putting together, but a sticker that a doctor can put on a door. And I don't know about all of you out there, but like, a sticker doesn't mean anything to me, because any doctor can just put the sticker on their door and then continue to be a jerk, right? We've all had bad doctors. We've talked about it before. A sticker means nothing. Novo Nordisk isn't putting together a training to help doctors be more inclusive. They're not doing any of that. They want obese people who are looking for doctors, which is not something that's currently happening, right? A lot of people who deal with obesity online, who are in the fat acceptance communities, are telling us that they're not actively looking for doctors because doctors are villains. But yes, we're gonna go and look for a sticker on their door. Like, somebody make it make sense for me, because I was shocked that this was really the only thing that they were doing to promote this initiative. And I know that Anna makes good money off of these things, right? She's being sponsored by Novo Nordisk every single time she talks about them in these videos when she's on their podcast. But like, I wish she could see how much more beneficial it would be if she even maybe gave them some feedback on her own journey. How did she find this doctor? She wasn't looking for a sticker because it didn't exist. So how was she able to find them? Is there a pre-existing directory? Did she just go into several doctors with a list of questions? Like, these are the things that I just like yearn to know about her, and that she like refuses to share on her channel for some really weird reason that I can't seem to figure out. I don't know if anyone can just help me pinpoint that, but I cannot figure out why she will not just share that. She constantly tells us she's the queen of transparency. She really wants us to be a part of this health journey, and she doesn't tell us anything about it that is useful or helpful or insightful. Then we get to the part of the video where Anna is finally sharing with us the 3 things she has done to change her life.
The next step was reintegrating movement. So in tandem with movement, I did also change what I eat. And the last thing that I've done is I've stopped apologizing for changing.
And don't get me wrong, these are all really great things for her to do. Love that she's changing things up. I'm really happy for her that things seem to be going the way she finally wants them to go. Like, that is a big deal. But did you notice what was missing? Did you notice? I'll give you a minute. You tell me in the comments if you noticed. If it was screaming at you from the silent void like it was to me. The fact that she still has not fessed up on her YouTube channel to taking a weight loss drug probably created by Novo Nordisk. And at this point, I don't even know what the holdup is anymore. She's already posted it on one of her other platforms. Granted, it's her smallest one, which we've already talked about. But this being the biggest health update yet, and still not telling us that she's taking a weight loss drug, just the 2 things are not adding up. It's literally driving me mad because, like I said, all I wanted when I clicked into this video was some substance. And yet again, we got bright, shiny, surface level, happy to be here Anna, right? Nothing in between and nothing that is helpful to us. I want to talk about one of the 3 things that Anna said she did that changed her life, right? And got her going on this health journey. And that's when she tells us that she's changing how she eats. And the reason I want to talk about this is because of what I just said about her not sharing she's taking these weight loss drugs, right? Because when she says, I'm starting to view food as fuel, and I'm not on a diet, but I'm kind of like just intuitively eating, right? She doesn't say that, but she says, like, if I know I'm going to work out the next day, I eat carbs. She's using and leaning into that sort of intuitive eating language. And my issue with that is her willfully omitting that she's taking these weight loss drugs, where people who are also taking these drugs have done their accounts and have said that this drug quiets their food noise, right? So they're not constantly thinking about food all the time the way that they used to, or that it just makes them nauseous, so they're not eating as much. She is making it seem like she has somehow developed the willpower to just do this thing on her own, right? Working with her doctor and by working out. And it just comes off so disingenuous to make it seem like she's suddenly just able to buck up and do this thing on her own when we know that she's taking a weight loss drug. Like, just tell us that you're taking the weight loss drug. That is the part to me that is just so bothersome. Think about the beginning of her audience, right? She was coming up with that fat acceptance rhetoric, really rolling through that, doing all of this fashion, really bringing people in to her audience from that realm of the internet. These are people who relate to her, who have had similar struggles to her, and she is just outright lying to them. And I cannot for the life of me figure out why more people aren't angry and upset about that. Like, as a viewer, it makes me feel like I'm doing something wrong because, like, I'm not getting the same results as her, right? Even if I'm doing the same things, but it's because she's willfully left out that she is taking a weight loss drug. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's lying. Just not telling us, still lying. And I just want to say that fundamentally, I don't disagree at all with people actively choosing to healthfully lose weight, right? I'm not fundamentally against that. Whether people decide they want to take these weight loss drugs, whether they decide they want to get bariatric surgery, whether they just decide to change their lifestyle and diet. I'm not against any of those options. There are so many tools that people can put in their tool belt now to help them get to a healthy weight and to maintain that. None of those things are bad, and I'm not trying to villainize that at all. Because it's nice now that people don't have to turn to these fad diets and these things that are going to continuously hurt them. And I think it should also be said that it's nice to see that Anna is making progress, and she should be proud of her progress, and no one can take that progress away from her. But, and this is for Anna, could you please, for the love of God, share something with us that actually means something to you? That means something and is useful to the millions upon millions of people who follow you. To the people in your audience who can relate to you and your experiences. Can you just share one thing that's vulnerable and helpful? There were so many moments in this video where Anna was bringing herself to tears, right? Talking us through how she was feeling. And I don't know about you. I don't know if you watched the whole video on your own, but I couldn't empathize with any of it because it felt like manufactured vulnerability, right? It didn't feel real to me. Real vulnerability has yet to make an appearance in Anna's health update videos. I'm just gonna put it that way. And at this point, I mean, I'm curious why she even updates us at all, besides to make money from these sponsorships. All right, that is all I have to say about this video today. I mean, I could go on and on for hours, but I'm not gonna drag you with me. As promised, before we officially wrap the video, I'm gonna play you some clips of my initial reaction to this video. Keep in mind, I was very sick with COVID, so I'm very sorry about how my voice is about to sound. But here's a little bit of that. She could be such a voice for these weight loss drugs, and she could talk through her decision making. She could get so deep, and instead she does these sponsored videos where she just scratches the bright, shiny fucking surface and doesn't get to anything of substance. You're making my voice hurt, Anna. My throat, I'm gonna go have a coughing fit now. Just tell us that you're taking Wegovy. We already know. God. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Clearly, I was feeling some type of way that day. All right, we're at the point in the video where I now ask you guys, did you see Anna's original video that we talked about, or was this your first time hearing about it on the channel? Did you think that she was being real vulnerable, or did it feel manufactured? And what do you think about her continuing to omit the fact that she is taking a weight loss drug? At this point, what's the purpose, right? I'm curious to know what you guys think, so please leave your thoughts in the comment section below. You know I love to read them, and I'll be in the comment section a little bit after this video goes up because I love hearing what you guys have to say. As always, thank you all so much for being here with me today. I will see you in the next one. Bye.